This seat is the most underrated low seat for the Yamaha Tenere 700. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. As I said in the intro, I think the Yamaha factory low seat for the Tenere 700 is the most underrated low seat out there. And the reason I say that is this costs $150 and did everything I needed it to do. Comfort-wise, it's equally as comfort as the other seat, but I think comfort is very subjective, and I will explain to you here in a bit why I think this is a very comfortable seat, just as good as any other seat, and why I prefer something that's a little bit harder. But let me start off by saying this seat, the overall seat height is about ½ an inch lower than the stock seat. With the stock seat sitting on it, I was barely on tippy toes with both of my feet. And I would have to, if I had one foot up, I could be about the ball of my foot. Now, when I put this low seat on, I went from being on tippy toes to having the balls of my feet down, almost flat-footed, but not quite. And then when I have one foot down and one foot up, completely flat-footed and definitely in a better position. Now, yes, it's a ½ inch lower than the stock seat, but what happens is it also creates a narrower spot where your legs go down. So it's a little bit thinner between the legs. I know there are some other quote low seats, but then they pan everything out to try to give this seated area. And it actually ends up being wider than and feeling taller than the stock seat. So I think this seat, the factory seat, at only $150 or $60, whatever it was, is completely underrated. And if you were looking for a way to get your feet down without using lowering links and moving the whole bike down, then you should consider this. Now for context, I have a 33-inch inseam, somewhere in there, 32, 33. And this worked perfectly for me. Now, I had mentioned before the hardness of this seat. So I prefer a little bit harder seat. And the reason for that is your sit bones. So if you sit down and you reach behind your butt and you feel those bones, those are your sit bones. That's really what you want supporting you on a seat. Seats that are overly soft allow your sit bones to squish down in them, and then now you're putting pressure on all your soft tissue. And so your butt is gonna start hurting much faster and be more uncomfortable once you start sitting on that soft tissue. Now for short rides, about an hour, you'll be fine. You might start feeling some discomfort, but if you ride like I do, where you're spending 7, 8, 9 hours a day in the saddle, a hard seat is counterintuitive as it may seem, will actually be better for all day rides. And I have tried the panned out seats. I don't like those, partly because it does actually spread your legs out further and make you feel like the bike is taller. So with this seat, it has made it much easier to get my feet down when I'm riding off-road. It has made it much easier for turning this bike around when I'm doing filming. And I can't really recommend any other seat if you want a low seat. And before you put lowering links on, I recommend trying this low seat. You're not that much out. You're out $150 if you don't like it. I'm confident you'll be able to sell it on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, or eBay, because there will be other people who are interested in it. So if you have tried this seat, let me know what your experience has been in the comments below. I absolutely love it. I won't use anything else. It did exactly what I needed it to do. So if you have tried other seats Let me know what your experience has been with those other seats in the comments below as well. I know Seat Concepts makes a seat for this. It's supposedly a lower seat, but it pans things out so it makes your legs a little bit wider. So it might actually be lower in height, but because your legs are wider, it may not actually feel like you're lower. So I am curious to know what everybody else out there is using. And if you have some recommendations for different seats that still keep you low, let me know that in the comments below as well. So I just wanted to share this with you because I think this seat is very overlooked because of the price and because the expectation that it's not going to feel very good because it's going to feel like the factory seat, which is actually a pretty decent seat. So anyway, if you haven't done it yet, do that thing down below. Thanks for watching. Get out, do some riding, ride safe, and I will see you out there.